Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thanks for joining me back here on another Magic the Gathering box opening. Now, as you can see here, there's a brand new placemat. And a while back for their Kickstarter, I decided to support Magali Villeneuve because I very much enjoyed their art. This was not the only playmat that I had decided to get, but it was my favorite of the ones that they had to offer. And my goodness, is it gorgeous, featuring all of the stained glass lands from Dominaria United. Some of my favorite lands, while they might not be the most detailed in terms of small details, but going through and making them all stained glass, which is one of my favorite forms of art, I think is absolutely beautiful. And I do want to make it my more standard opening, unless, of course, there's something that is a lot more thematic for it, like the Descent of Angels with the Innistrad boxes, because, well, the card came from Innistrad. But for this time around, starting it off, coming back to one of the last draft boosters that came out for us before we started moving on to the play boosters. And I remember as a little kid, probably when I was 4 or 5, I had this giant book that was all about dinosaurs, and I would try to memorize what all of them looked like. I would go in and try to learn how to pronounce them and how to spell them. So as a kid, I was going through and spelling things like Deinonychus and, the Velociraptor, T-Rex, not the most difficult ones, but, Apatosaurus and Triceratops, Stegosaurus, Iguanodons, just really anything that I could get my hands on and try to do. Plesiosaur, Mosasaur, and Diplodocus, just a whole lot of different ones that were there. So, the dinosaurs really resonated for me there. So I wanted to open up a few more here, especially since there are plenty of mythics that I have not pulled yet that I would be really looking forward to, especially, as you can probably guess, the Cavern of Souls is a big one there for us. But there are other good mythics to get as well. Well, in addition to some of these treasure troves, which I am going to put off to the side here for the moment. But getting more roaming thrones is always a nice little touch there. So, there are some rares as well that would be of interest. But, it's going to be a little disappointing. Going to be going down in the number of packs that there are going to be for the new play boosters with the release of Aether Drift going down. I believe it is to... what is it? Is it down from 36 to 30? I can't quite remember, but there are going to be less cards per pack, but it's also going to make boxes a little bit easier to get, especially with the number of box toppers that Aether Drift has. So I'm just going to leave that up there for the moment. Probably finishing everything up here. I do miss the days when there were different pack arts on them and it wasn't just one singular one, but maybe that went the way of the draft boosters there. Well, getting a lot more in here than we would for our collector boosters, but still we're looking for a lot of luck. Cavern of Souls, Roaming Throne, some of the gods. What is it? The Bloodletter of Alcazatz. I actually recently read a book that was based off of some of the, what would you call that, mythologies there for South American, Central American civilizations, and some of them do remind me of it there, like the Alcazatz is just Camazotz from the bat god from, I can't quite remember if it's Mayan or Aztec mythology there, but I think that they did a good job encapsulating some of that. So Gonna start off there with our Poison Dart Frog, Ray of Ruin, Relic's Roar, Thousand Moon Crackshot, Atali's Favor, Walk with the Ancestors, Abrade, Disruptor, Wanderglyph, Lodestone Needle, always like my double face cards. Chupacabra Echo kind of makes sense with the Ravenous Chupacabra from, what is that? Omengate there, trying to give something -6/-6 instead of just straight off destroying it, because you can get around it. Indestructible with it. Quaddle Scavenger, Malamet Warscribe, and hit the Motherlode. Discover 10. If the Discover card's mana value is less than 10, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the difference. Okay, so essentially trying to hit a bunch of lands to just get a whole bunch of treasures. And a little Sunfire Torch there. Hidden Necropolis and our bonus card there. Okay. Now, we're going to be just trying to shoot through some of these, so might just pick up the pace as it goes on, especially if I decide to do additional pack openings of these here, which I probably will, but Out of Air, Envoy of Oakneck Ahu, Seismic Montosaur, Mineshaft Spider, Greedy Freebooter, Miner's Glidewing, Another Chance, Cartographer's Companion, Sunbird Standard, Hurl into History, not Haul, Swashbuckler's Whip, Sorcerer's Spyglass, and Sunken Citadel. Land Cave, when it enters the battlefield, it enters battlefield tap. As an enter, choose a color, add 1 mana of the chosen, or tap to add 2 of the chosen one. Spend this only to activate abilities of land sources. Not too shabby. Oh, and also getting a foil rare threefold Thunderhulk. When it enters, and it enters with 3 +1/+1s on it. Whenever it enters or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens equal to its power. Pay 2, sack another artifact, put a +1/+1 on it. Okay. It's expensive there, but with, whole 7, but I could see in a commander deck there of how one might want to, pump it up and just make a whole lot of little token boys there. And Hidden Cataract and a Dinosaur Skull Fungus. Now, that Dinosaur Skull Fungus ain't no sapperling, and I do like my Shroofus there, just being a little doofus, because he loves rhymes. River Herald Guide, Fungal Fortitude, Pirate Hat, Iron Paw Aspirant, Panicked Altasaur, Walk with the Ancestors, Abrades, always like my Abrades, Disruptor Wanderglyph, Miner's Glidewing, Castlum Stone Tree, Synapse Necromage, Guardian of the Great Door, Chart of Course, and Deeproot Pilgrimage. Whenever one or more non-token merfolk you control become tapped, create a merfolk with hexproof. Okay, obviously can't, because it's non-token there, you can't have the token merfolk trigger it there, but it only essentially works once a turn there unless you got the extra combat steps. So unfortunate, not the most crazy thing. And a Hidden Courtyard with a spooky skeleton pirate, little spooky scary skeletons. I don't have the heart to tell the packs that we're not even close to Halloween here, so that it shouldn't be expecting anything. All right. Another Thousand Moons Crackshot, Tali's Favor. I'm a bit surprised that with the Tali having been corrupted by Phyrexia, that there's still this sort of wonder and awe for it, especially since it might... I haven't read much of the lore for that recent stuff. I don't know if he's alive, if Atali is no longer Phyrexianized. I don't know. We've got Herald Guide, Fungal Fortitude, Pirate Hat. A lot of these look familiar. Malamet Scythe, Cartographer's Companion, Shipwreck Sentry, Sunbird Standard, Mofro Cave Diver, Cenote Scout, diamond pickaxe, and fabrication foundry. Artifact for 2. Tap, add a white. Spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell or activate an ability of an artifact. 2 and a white. Tap, exile 1 or more other artifacts you control with total mana value X. Return target artifact card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, just trying to get your guys out there. Unfortunately, it's, you return it based off the mana value, so no tokens there. And a hidden nursery with the gnome. This time around, because, it's not a collector booster, we're not able to see what the token is to kind of give us an idea of what sort of thing that we can expect going into the pack, if it's going to be good or not. But, the Bloods ended up betraying us in the very end. I've seen a lot of these before because they just happened to show up. Tithing Blade. Well, I do see a couple of things later on, so I guess I spoiled myself a little bit for it. Akawale, Seething Tower. Legendary creature fungus with Descend 4 and Descend 8. Just thinking about it there. 3 mana, legendary fungus, 3/3. As long as there are 4 more permanents in your graveyard, it gets +2/+2 and has trample. As long as there are 8 or more, it gets an additional +2/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Okay. I mean, very selfish card there. I could see how maybe a more Voltron-y thing could work for it. That's all I can see there. Rampaging Ceratops, a little alternate art there, giving them that full treatment. Can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. The super menace. But yeah, dinosaurs are pretty menacing. Zawoya, Lava Tongue. Red and black for Goblin Warlock 2/2 with Death Touch. The beginning of your end step. If you descended this turn, each opponent may discard a card or sack a permanent. It'll deal 3 damage to each opponent who didn't. Okay. Got an idea for that one there. Seems like a decent one to add to my Angie Falconroth deck for getting them to discard cards or sacking permanents there, especially since it has a Turgid in it. Gotta love sacking stuff and getting it right back. And we get a Pugnacious Hammer Skull, absolutely destroying whatever that thing is. And it looks pretty gnarly since it's got all of its ribs exposed there. Whenever it attacks while you don't control another dinosaur, put a stun counter on it. Okay, so just try to get another dinosaur out pretty early, and you got a 6/6 there. So I mean, it's fast to get out there, but it does nothing else other than swing. So I mean, it's okay. And who do we have here? Cogwork Wrestler. Just a little foil common there. Ooh, and the nice mountain. Kind of, all of these kind of look like a little bit as if they're kind of those posters that you see within travel agencies of like, here's where to go, and this time it's here. It's go see the land, and it's very beautiful, picturesque mountainscape there. And we're getting a map. Got to find our way to get to those mountains after all. Keep on trucking. Who do we got here? Disturbed Slumber, Echo of Dusk, Unlucky Drop, Petrify, Ancestor's Age, Staggering Size, Armored Kincaller, Hunter Blowgun, Another Chance, Dowsing Device, Dusk Rose, Reliquary, Forgotten Monument, and Careening Minecart. Whenever it attacks, it gets treasure. Okay, I got a friend who might be interested in that. We got, a Restless Reef. Enters tapped, add blue or black for 2 and 1 blue and black. Until end of turn, it becomes a 4/4 blue-black shark with Death Touch. Whenever it attacks target player, mills 4 cards. Okay, nice little mill piece, and get a little bit of Zombo Sharks almost, with the death touch. Kind of makes me think of that, what is it, that 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie with the zombie sharks? And a captivating cave. Kind of get those zombie sharks to get a little bit of nom 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 nom. All right. I've already got a few of those ones there. Dinotomaton, Dinosaur Gnome, Waterlogged Hulk, Enterprising Scallywag, Bissell Gorestalker, Volatile Fault, and Tarian Soul Cleaver. 1 mana, legendary artifact, equipment, equip creature has vigilance. Whenever another artifact or creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, +1/+1/+1 on an equipped creature. Kind of feels like it might go a little bit good with something to do with, what was it? The black serve from Eldraine. The one that pings people when cards go to the graveyard from anywhere. But I mean, if it's there as well. But Hidden Cataract and the Treasure. Keep on wanting to think of like Sir Conrad, but I don't think that's who it is. Okay. Just gonna be getting towards the end there. Sinuith, Benthsaur, Calamitous Cavern, Glowcap Lantern, and Matzalantley the Great Door. Legendary artifact. For 3, draw a card, discard a card, a little bit of looting. 4 and tap, transform it. Activate only if there are 4 more permanent types among cards in your graveyard. Ooh, nice island there. Go into the core, legendary land, Fathomless Descent, tap to add X mana of any one color where the X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. All right. Mill yourself, get a whole bunch of stuff in there, and just tap it for a bunch of mana, and we get our little travel agency island as well. All right, keep on going. Get towards the end there. Now, Grasping Shadows, Dauntless Dismantler, Savoya's Justice, and Canonized in Blood, and Corpses of the Lost. Here's where our skeleton pirates come from. Skeletons you control get +1/+0 and have haste. When it enters the battlefield, create that token. The 2/2 black skeleton pirate. Beginning of your end step, if you descended, you may pay a life. If you do, return this to your hand. Alright, so just putting out there to try to get more pirates. And, for 3 mana, I mean, it's alright. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. And Promising Vein, just another little common that's foil in our fungus dinosaur skullhead. Alright, well, haven't hit on any mythics yet, so nothing of super good rares yet, but we'll be getting there eventually. Plus, we have that just in case. Alright, Malicious Eclipse, Dreadmaw's Ire, Stinging Cave Crawler, and Tishana's Tidebender. Alright, I do really like the colorfulness of the full art one there, but I definitely will take this. Flash, when it enters the battlefield, counter up to 1 target activated or triggered ability. If an ability of an artifact, creature, or planeswalker is countered this way, that permanent loses all abilities for as long as this remains on the battlefield. Toxic. Gnome Soldier, look at all those arms. He's ready to fight. back here, and clay-fired bricks. Helping Hand. Isquinth, firstborn of Gishath. Forgot Gishath is actually back here again. And... oh, I was expecting this to be rare. I keep on forgetting the number of uncommons that are in these there. Upenbach, the Great Mistake. Very, very creepy looking card, by the way. And first mythic, not a great one there. Quintorius Canned, straight from Strixhaven there. 3 red and white. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, he deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Fortunately, he is not red-black, so can't put him in there with Angie because she big casts in all of those exile ones. Create a 3/2 red-white spirit token for 1. For -3, discover 4. For -6, exile any number of target cards from your graveyard. Add a red mana for each card exiled, and you may play cards. Play those this turn to, go along with his effect there. Oh, and we got a swamp. So we've gotten what? Island, swamp, and mountain from these so far. Pretty decent. Okay, first, essentially third of this here. Not doing the greatest, but you're going to have some of those, especially when you're not constantly getting hit after hit because of, collector boosters. Jade Seed Stones, Dig Site Conservator, Colossal Dactyr. Blah. Just kind of funny. Like, yeah, it's terrifying because he's absolutely huge, but he looks like he wants to give the guy a hug. Just like hasn't seen them for a while type of deal. Self-reflection and... no, we don't want to see that yet. Poetic Ingenuity. 2 and a red. Whenever one or more dinosaurs you control attack, create that many treasure tokens. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. This ability only activates only once each turn. Oh, they're so happy together. They actually remind me a couple of my friends. And we also have an Autoclan landmark there. Foil, Promising Vein again. Another type of Nomi boy there. All right, let's see what we got here. Tithing Blade, almost kind of similar to the Dowsing Blade. Ixali's Lorekeeper, Council of Echoes, Bitter Triumph, and good old Treasure Map. Treasure Map turning into that Treasure Cove. Sacrificing the treasures and drawing cards. Yeah, here. Okay. Master's Guide Mural, Deep Cavern Bat, Element Battleglyph, Bloodthorn Flail, and the Prairie this time, becoming the 3/3 green and white llama with its neck and its face there. Let's see here, other creatures you control get +1/+1 if it attacks with them. Okay. Okay, box topper, you might have to save us in the end here. Not really getting much. I can't even remember if we're able to get any Jurassic Park themed stuff in the draft boosters. I don't think so. Scytheclaw Raptor, Glimpse the Core, Kutsi, Melamet Exemplar, Cat Warrior. And we got here our Kellan, Daring Traveler, the fairy from Eldraine that's going all over the place. Our new main character, now that Jace isn't the main character anymore. 1 and a white for legendary creature, a human fairy scout. Whenever he attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card with mana value 3 or less, put it in your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. With a Journey On for green sorcery, create X map tokens where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who control an artifact. And a little Echo of Dust that we got in there before with another mountain. Guess we're going from the mountains to the islands, to the swamps, back to the mountains. Gotta love that fresh mountain air. Seekeely's Lattice, Spyglass Siren, Tendril of the Myco Tyrant, and let's see here, Kinjali's Dawnrunner, Trumpeting Carnosaur. 6 mana, okay. What are you doing for 6 mana? Tramplin for 7/6. When it enters the battlefield, discover 5. Can discard him to deal 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Okay, a little bit of utility of choosing what you want to do. Maybe not the best use of 6 mana, though. Okay. Gold Fury Strider, Market Gnome, Confounding Riddle, and Throne of the Grim Captain. 2 mana for legendary artifact, tap to mill 2 cards, craft with a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire. Exile it and the 4 cards among this to transform it into the Grim Captain. Menace. Lifelink, trample, hexproof. Whenever it attacks, each opponent sacks a non-land permanent. Then you may put an exiled creature card used to craft this onto the battlefield under your control tapped. And attacking. That's very specific of what it wants. I guess I could see this being used more in like changeling deck, just because they are all of them there. I'm assuming based off of the wording here that you couldn't do it with like one changeling that's like, ah, yes, you know, you can, if you had one changeling that was all of the types, I doubt that you could use that for it, because it seems like you need 4 cards in order to do it. Okay. Come on for something nifty here. Hotfoot Gnomes. That's everything that we absolutely wanted, wasn't it? Geological Appraiser, Soulcoil Viper, Hoverstone Pilgrim, and Bedrock Tortoise. As long as it's your turn creatures, you can draw of hexproof. Each creature you control with toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Okay, doing a little bit of Doran the Siege Tower type of action. What is it? Arcades. That allows you to attack with defenders as if they don't have defenders, something along those lines. So, getting a little bit in there. Another way to enable them. Enable all of those big butts that cannot lie. Visage of Dread, Ruin Lurker Bat, Defossilize, and Contested Ballgame, and Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel. Flash Flying, whenever he deals damage, combat damage to a player, put a chorus counter on him, and draw a card. to discard a card. If there are 4 or more chorus counters on Malcolm, you may cast a discarded card without paying its mana cost. Okay, let's try to get those up real quick there to do it. Hey, and there is our forest with a nice little Jamil in the background there. Okay, keep on going, keep on going. About halfway through. Halfway through, 1 mythic and a dream. Let's get to this. Spring-loaded saw blades, back colony, pit of offerings, triumphant chomp, and terror tide. Fathomless descent. All creatures get -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. You know, get it right on quick there with that other one from earlier that was getting you cards into your graveyard quick. The Mitzcatlapon? Something like that? Which one was that there? Yeah. Matzalantly. Get that one in there so that you're getting a bunch of mana and you're killing stuff for real cheap. Kind of gives me a bit of the Massacre Girl vibes with giving the -X/-X to pretty much everything and doing a board wipe with it there. Oh, we got your foil there, Mr. Wrestler. Idol of the Deep King, Belligerent Yearling, Bartolome del Presidio, and Thrashing Brontosaur, and Breaches, Eager Pillager. 3 mana, 3/3, Goblin Pirate, first strike. Whenever pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. So it's definitely accounting for taking multiple combats. Create a treasure token. Target creature can't block. Exile top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Haha, breaches. You're breaching down the door. And one more island there with the Jamil hidden right up there in the frame. Trying to be somewhat unseen. But we're not in Kellan's hometown anymore. There is no Unseelie Court here. Everything is always seen. But yes, it's funny how, you know, there's this set along with the the Central American Lost Belt that happened in an FGO there. And what are we going to get here? Sculpt before Nexus. Okay, getting a second mythic there. For 8 mana. 8 mana. But you're not paying it for 8. The spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, create a green fungus dinosaur creature token with base power and toughness each equal to the total power of those creatures. Double target creature's power until end of turn. That last one there is nasty, but yeah, you're definitely playing it for cheap. You know, have something with 4 down and it only costs 4 to play. Swing in with that 4 and 2 mana, you're hitting them. Oops. You're hitting them for 8. Huatli's Final Strike. Dramatic Nautilus, Guardian of the Great Door, Explorer's Cache, and Thousand Moon Smithy. At least we haven't gotten any duplicates within the packs yet, but we're looking for the better stuff here. 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, create a white gnome soldier artifact creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifacts and or creatures you control. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may tap 5 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control. If you do, transform it into Barracks of the Thousand. Tap it for white mana. Whenever you cast an artifact or creature spell using mana produced by Barracks, create a white gnome soldier creature token with The power and toughness is equal to the amount of... Oh, why am I putting that over there? I want that here. Power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts and creatures you control. Just making a whole bunch of those, and they feed off of each other, making each other bigger and stronger and tougher. It's fine, it's fine. Not too fast, though. Twists and turns, Vanguard of the Rose, Curator of the Sun's creation, Mind of the Ancestors, and Bringer of the Last Gift. 8 mana. 8 mana. For a 6/6 flyer vampire demon. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, each player sacrifices all other creatures they control. Then each player returns all creature cards from their graveyard that weren't put there this way to the battlefield. Oh, what's that? Like Living End or something like that? Except this is on a stick and you get to keep that stick afterwards. And planes. We're going everywhere, boys. We got the travel agency setting us up with everything. All right, so effectively ending 2/3 of the way through. 2 mythics, bunch of rares. Nothing super amazing, but can probably make things work. And getting a braids. Definitely like the braids. The Kanzil, another legendary creature. And Captain Storm, another Captain Storm, or is this the same one? I can't remember. I never played with her. And Earthshaker Dreadmaw. Wow, no. Getting some alternate arts there. And a little Inti, Celestial of the Sun. Inti. 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. If you do, put a +1/+1 on target counter on target attacking creature. Gains trample until end of turn. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until your next end step. Another one to potentially look at for the good old Angie. Alrighty. Mischievous Pup, Zoetic Glyph, Cavernous Maw, and Deep Fathom Echo. Okay, pretty sure that is another dude, a little dud there. 4 mana, 4/4 at beginning of combat in your turn. It explores, then you may have it become a copy of another creature you control until end of turn. I mean, again, it's a 4/4 that explores, and it's as good as your best creature, but if you don't have any good creatures, then it's just a 4/4 that explores. Waterlogged Hulk, Chupacabra Echo, Cenote Scout, Merfolk Cave Diver, and there we go. That is a hit that we are looking for. Thank you, Swamp. Good old O'Hare Talk, Deepest Foundation. Oh boy. The good old 3 times token generation. Yeah, that is intense. Temple of Civilization, add white. If you attacked with 3 or more, you're able to transform it back. I like how a lot of the gods that they have different ways of returning there to be able to essentially counteract the death that they might have. But definitely the best hit so far by a long shot. Skullspore Nexus is a neato card, but it's not the kind of like wide-reaching effects that O'Hare Talk kind of brings to the table with their pretty strong ability. I mean, yeah, it's 6 mana for a 6/6 vigilance, but it's hard to kill. Like, if you exile it, yeah, but, you know, a lot of the other ones there, all the Theros gods, they have indestructible. You can get rid of it by exiling it, and I think that you can bring back some of the, can't even remember if you can bring back the gods from Omengate like that. And haven't really delved too deep into Kellan, but I don't think there's a way to bring back most of those gods since I think there's so many of them. Synapse Necromage, Spelunking, Abyssal Gorestalker, and the other form of Kellan. He was just like, yeah, you know, I look kind of ugly in that other one there. Like, my face looks like I've been punched a few too many times. Like, he definitely has, in this version, much more of that Aztec facial features to him there, of that kind of like sharpness that you might see in this, whereas he looks a lot more baby-faced here to kind of go with that Fey ancestry that he has. Okay. Well, hoping to get at least one more mythic there. It would be great to be able to get a, well, Cavern of Souls would be definitely nice, but, what's it, Roaming Throne there. Dowsing Defias, Kawadi Scavenger, Calamitous Caven, Melament Warscribe, and Polani's Hatcher. 5 mana for a 5/3. Other dinosaurs have haste. Okay. When enters, create 2/0/1 green dinosaur eggs at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you control one or more eggs, sacrifice an egg to create a 3/3 green dinosaur. Okay. I like it. I mean, it's a haster on a stick and a nice foil mountain there. Really makes you want to go on that vacation, doesn't it? But I am looking to make a, you know, almost like a tribal themed dinosaur deck at some point there. So effectively giving them all haste, especially having on a creature there, and essentially being able to put out within, what is that there? 2 turns, because turn comes down, it can attack there. I mean, yeah. And you can just essentially turn it into a 3/3. The eggs there. So, you know, you're coming down 5 mana for essentially 8 power there, and, you know, next turn it would be 11 if everything survives there. All right. Caparocti Sunborn, another legendary creature. Rampaging Ceratops. There is that one that has the super menace, just the regular artwork, and the special artwork for Zoyoa. And we have with us Tarian's Journal. Tarian's got a lot of stuff going on here. He's got that, like, pike, that polearm that he's got there in his journal. 2 mana, legendary artifact. Sack another artifact or creature to draw a card. Pay 2 and tap, discard your whole hand and transform it into the Tomb of Aclazots, Karamazots. Black mana, tap it. You may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters with a finality counter, and it is a vampire. Okay. I mean, it's a pretty cheap means of getting recursion in there, and it's just like, if you don't have a whole lot of cards in your hand, I mean, it's an easy way for you to start playing stuff from your graveyard. Not too shabby there. It's something that I'll have to look into maybe finding places for. Clay-fired bricks, forgotten monuments, careening minecart, and Dusk Rose Reliquary, and the belligerent. Make way for the boat. Blue-red 2, legendary artifact vehicle. Whenever it attacks, create a treasure. Till in turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. All part of the same effect, though, so, you know, you have to attack with it. And then, at that point there, you're able to look at things. 3 to crew, you know, it'd be great if it was 2 or less, but, you know, 3 seems reasonable. Gets you kind of a lot of stuff there. Alright, come on, at least one more mythic. We want at least one more mythic. Cavern of Souls. Roaming Throne. Enterprising Scallywag. Charter Course and Bitter Triumph and Echoing Deeps. Cave. Enters a copy of a land card in a graveyard, except it's also a cave, so get those special abilities. And I'm pretty sure we have the Huatli, Poet of Unity. She transforms... She doesn't transform into another planeswalker, right? It's just like an enchantment or something. I think it's like a saga on the back. 3 mana for a 2/3 human warrior bard. Whenever Huatli enters the battlefield, search library for basic land, reveal it, put in your hand. Tiny bit of ramp there. And then for red and white hybrid 3, exile Huatli, return her to the battlefield transformed under the owner's control as a sorcery. I am right. It is a saga there. 1, create 2 3/3 green dinosaurs. 2, it gains the ability that creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of anything that, what is that there? Naya can produce. 3, search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, put in your hand. Last one there, dinosaurs you control gain double strike and trample until end of turn. Now the one thing that I have as a little bit of a problem with this is that there isn't a way for it to get back. So it's not like the Phyrexian Praetors, where once it's run its course, they flip back over. It's just a, hey, you get all of this stuff, do something by the end of it there. Because then it's just gone at the end of it. So it's like, oh, you ramp one and then just hope that you've got other stuff to play in the meantime there. But not the worst pull. I just wish that there was a way for the saga to turn back into Huatli at some point. Or a way to get Huatli back from the graveyard. Grasping Shadows, Sinuous Benthsaur, Diamond Pickaxe, Malicious Eclipse, and the regular Pugnacious Hammer Skull. Alright, down to the last 3. Kind of got our minimum desired 4 mythics. Wouldn't hurt to get another one. Come on. Bring about the cool stuff. Helping Hand, Akwali, it's Gwyneth, firstborn of Geshatha. And there he is. They're in the same one. Geshatha and your firstborn. Hiya! Perfect. There we are, looking to get that 5th mythic to just push us over the edge of what we really want in it there. Especially since I don't think... Well, I never opened up original Ixalan, so don't think that I've gotten any Geshath. A little Holly's favor to finish this off. Master's Guide Mural, Glow Cap Lantern, Singing Cave Crawler, Dig Site Conservator, and... Ooh, I don't care about you at all. Cavern of Souls. So not only did they want to gift us at the very end with a bunch of cool stuff, it's just like, yes, we're going through, we're giving you, at the beginning, not so great Planeswalker, okay, Skull Spore Nexus, and then, get O'Hare Talk, halfway-ish through, and then at the very end, it's just like, here's a foil Huatli, here's a gift Shaft, and also, why don't we just throw in a Cavern of Souls as well? That is what we want to see. First one of getting in this pack. Choose a creature type when it enters. Add a colorless, or add 1 mana of any color to you spend on that creature type, and it can't be countered. Oh boy. 2 massive hits from this. The only thing that we would need now is just getting like a roaming throne or a bloodletter of Alcazats in here, and you just make it so worth it. Shade Seed Stones, Gold Fury Strider, Volatile Fault, and Canonized in Blood, and Magmatic Galleon. Okay. Unfortunately, no roaming throne. End off with a 5/5 for 5 vehicle. When it enters the battlefield, deals 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Whenever one or more creatures your opponent's controller dealt excess non-combat damage, create a treasure token. That's nice. Any excess. Oh, sorry. Only non-combat excess. Okay. Not the greatest thing there, but definitely hitting it off with that there. With those with Magmatic Galleon, Pugnacious, Echoing Deeps, Belligerent, Terran's Journal, Polani's Hatcher, Kellan, Deep Fathom, Inti, Bring Your Last Gifts, Smithy, Breaches, Terror, Malcolm, Bedrock Tortoise, Throne, Trumpeter, Prairie, Treasure Map, Ingenuity, Tidebender, Corpses, The Great Door, The Soul Cleaver, The Restless, Reef, That Other Pugnacious, Fabrication Foundry, Deeproot Pilgrimage, Threefold, Thunderhulk, Sunken Citadel, Hit the Motherlode, and our big ones there, the Gishath, the Huatley, the Skull Spore, Quintus Canned, and two of the big hits from this set, the Cavern and the O'Hare Talk. So that just leaves one last thing. Have our little box topper here. Get something a little bit spicy, I'm hoping. Let's get something spicy. Finish off strong. Finishing off real strong there. And an expedition map. Okay, so not the most craziest thing there, but, you know, it's that good old traditional expedition map. A little bit of brand new art there. So, bit of a miss at the very end, but getting Cavern of Souls in the second to last pack, I think, is a fantastic way to finish this all off. Okay, well, you know, things really turned for the best with that Cavern of Souls coming through. I'm sure that it changed us all right around and made everything worthwhile. I'm hoping maybe to get another one in the future at some point there. That would be nice. But again, you know, it's a little bit feeling different when you're looking at it there and comparing to what you get from even just 12 packs of the collector booster. It seems like, oh, there's a lot less hits, but you gotta expect that. Even still, thanks for joining me. Seeing come around for getting 2 really amazing cards being pulled out. I always enjoy doing these little journal entries just to kind of showcase the journey that I'm taking there of up in the collection, making some new decks there, and just spreading my love of the different hobbies that I have around to people and hoping to connect with them. Maybe bring a little bit of joy and a smile, maybe to your face. That would be very great. So thank you for coming to join me, and until the next time that we meet, I hope that you have a wonderful day and you take care of yourself. Farewell.